We're going live in... We're already live. Okay, so... guys, this is episode 2 of Maverex and Mates. I'm Maverex, aka Brendan Shaw. This is
one of the mates.
One of my mates. One of the best mates. I don't know which camera to look at.
Yeah, same here.
Wait, this one's looking at me, yeah?
Yeah, so that one's looking at you, and then this one's looking at the side profile of my face.
Okay. But this one can't see me.
Which one?
Never mind.
That one can't see you.
Yeah,
that one can't see me. Yeah.
Okay, so it is currently 10 September 8, 19 p.m. and we just had a really good day. Michael treated me to a nice dinner at this place. Freaking, what was it called again? Flyover Frittery.
Flyover,
Oh my god, guys.
Frittery.
If you guys are watching this video right now, highly recommend this place in Redfern.
It's next to Ra Ra Ramen.
Yeah, it's right in the corner, and get the sliders. Get the sliders, okay? Anyways, okay, we're gonna jump straight into it, bro. So we actually had a podcast. We had a podcast like 4 years ago.
We were talking about it this morning, 4 years ago.
Dude. So that's the reason why I chose Michael specifically to be episode 2.
This
Because
isn't even our first rodeo.
No, this is not our first. So it was. I was conscious to choose him as my first episode because we had actually like 7 episodes. I think 7 or 8, something like that.
We went every weekend and we'd change locations.
Yeah.
We went to like Bondi Beach, we were at Tamarama, and then we went to the botanical gardens at Auburn.
Yep.
Where else did we record? That random park that was near my old apartment. Remember the soccer field?
Yeah. That's like near Bankstown? No, near Parramatta.
It was, near Parramatta.
We recorded at, what's that place called? We'll come back to it. But it was 4 years ago. Like, I was saying my first episode, like, where would we be now if we actually continued and we were consistent? Did you know, fun fact, that most podcasts don't last more than 7 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're
That's
literally
the cutoff. Like, a lot of people, they get to the 7th and then the honeymoon period ends and then they're like,
probably like
just lose
not getting enough viewership and then like the motivation's not there.
Yeah, and they compare themselves to other people, like Joe Rogan and stuff. Like, you can't compare yourself to Joe Rogan. Like, come on. First of all, he's like black belt on so many things. He's like a master comedian and like he has powerful friends. So as long as you're comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. So so that was a little quick intro, and I want to go straight into like how we first met. We'll kind of talk about this a little bit today. Yeah. And how, like, what we went through. Like, I don't even know when was the first day I met you.
Yeah, I can't even recall any like first time ever.
Yeah. So I just turned 29 yesterday. So I met him around like year 11. Would you say?
17 years old, so that's 12 years. Fuck, that's fast. Doesn't feel like 12 years.
It's almost half our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
But what was your first memory like with me?
I still can't remember. Like, obviously that we met through my ex, Rennie, but I can't think of... Yeah, for sure. Or it was at like one of the parties or something. But I can't even remember, like, all I remember is like little bits and pieces of all the dumb things we've done over the years. Like, I can't remember any like singular event where I'm like...
There wasn't like a moment where it was like, boom, like that's when I first made eye contact.
Yeah, that's right. I don't even know. Do you know?
I don't remember the first time, but I remember the first memories that we shared. We were talking about it today, earlier. It was at the library, Cabramatta Library, where I recorded my first episode 1. I remember like just having fond memories of me and you sitting on the upper level on the left side of the administration area.
Yeah.
And
which is the right side when you enter.
Yeah. And I just remember so clearly I was talking to this girl and you were talking to this girl at the same time. You were talking to, like, we weren't mentioning names, but you mentioned yours.
Oh, I already mentioned it.
But like, I remember so clearly, I'm like, oh dude, what should I say? And you're like telling me what to say, and then I'm telling you what to say for your girlfriend. And like, it was just like this shared kind of brotherhood.
Our
like
epic beta phase.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to mention.
So beta. You guys have no idea how many beta male stories we have.
Bruh.
We've gone through it all.
You know what's funny? A few years ago, I remember, because we've evolved over the years, and I remember saying to you, like 2 or 3 years ago or something, and I was like to you, far. We're way more alpha now, eh? And then what you said was, do you remember what you said? You're like, nah, we're not more alpha, we're just less beta.
Yeah.
Which it hit me so hard. I was like, that's so true, man. I'm still so beta as fuck, man. But now I feel like we're finally like progressing, like in a way. Like I feel like the fact that we're talking about being like more alpha makes us beta already.
I feel like he's copped it more than me.
For what?
As in, you've copped my stories of being beta way more than I've copped your stories of being beta.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Do you want to share one of the stories?
Nah, we're just such simps.
Yeah.
Such simps. But the things we did, like questionable logic. I mean, you can't really justify your actions when like you're feeling that way.
Yeah,
you don't really think about it until you look back in hindsight when hindsight is clearly 2020.
Yep.
But so many embarrassing things. Like I can sit here and like just recount all the shit I used to complain about to Bren, and fuck, so comical, like so insignificant.
Yeah. But at the time, it seemed like the world. Yeah. It's like it was everything. We needed this woman to pay attention to us. But now looking back, you're like, fucking weak cunts, man.
Yeah. And there's this one song we always give shit about, which is David Archuleta. What's it called again?
Crush,
the most beta male song. Every time we listen to it, it's like us in a song from 5+ years ago.
Yeah. If you guys don't know that song, it's like dun, 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 dun. It's like one of those R&B songs back in the days. It was like fucking DJ Weetart shit. DJ R&B exclusive. Oh my god. Anyways, moving forward. Okay, since I'll share one of my beta stories first. Remember the time when we were sitting in my car, one of our cars, I don't know whose car it was, but it was in my driveway. It was like at 11 p.m. at night or something. And we're just talking and probably sharing our beta stories or some shit.
I know where this is going.
and then I'm not going to mention the girl's name, but at that time I was just so in love with her. I was like, oh my God, when you've wanted someone for so long, for 3 years, and you finally get that thing, and then after a month that thing's taken away from you, that's when it hurts the most. Like, that was my mindset at that time. And then like you were full egging me on. You're like, fuck it, let's go, let's try this one last hurrah. Let's try to get her back somehow. So you were like helping me like build up the courage to do something to bring her back. And I remember I wrote like a letter, like impromptu letter right there on the spot.
You were looking through your glove box for paper and a pen, and you found some random sheet of paper, and then you full wrote a note on it, and then we ended up driving to this person's house. And where did you leave it? I
don't know exactly. I must have, like, I think I jumped the fence and then I put it into the mailbox or something. Like, I definitely feel like I jumped the fence. Because the crazy thing is, I didn't even actually know her address, but I just had dropped her off once. And so I guess I followed my heart. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I said. I was like, yo, I don't know the address, but fuck it, I'm just gonna follow my heart, and my heart will lead the way for me to pass this message on. Long story short, I passed the message on, but she was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, can you please not do that again? Can you please don't ever do that and show up on my doorstep? Because what if people are watching this shit? And I felt so bad, man. I felt so heartbroken.
Full cut.
Yeah. And that was like what? Oh, that was 2014.
Yeah.
That was 8 years ago. I was 21 8 years ago. Woo, man. And this 29-year-old thing, I've been 29 for 1 year. 1 day is still, I feel like 21 still. But I feel like the knowledge has surmounted to a point where like my brain is about to explode.
I wouldn't say it's the same for me.
Yeah.
Like 21-year-old me, that was post, I'm just going to say names, post Marlianne.
Yeah.
I was mega emo. I don't know if you remember.
Yep.
But I didn't get over that for years. Basically, I didn't get over my ex for a very long time, and that's part of our beta moments. But yeah, a lot of things that I look back in hindsight and I was like, oh fuck, like, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? But yeah, it's crazy. Like, to see how we've grown up with each other. Like, we share, like, if I can summarize us in 2 words, he is chaos and I am order. Like, this is the most spontaneous guy ever. like no structure at all in his life. It's just like whatever he wants to do, he'll go and do it without any consideration of anything other than him wanting to do it. And then me on the flip side of that, very organized, everything has to be precise. I strongly dislike when things are out of order. I mean, I'm a little bit more flexible now, and that's got to do with the fact that we've been friends for so long, and a lot of what has shaped me into who I am today has been a product of all these spontaneous things that we've done over the years. Like a lot of things that I typically wouldn't venture towards ended up happening out of spontaneous moments. Yeah, chaos and order. It's funny, but it just somehow works.
I would definitely agree with that. Like I feel like in this relationship, I'm definitely the yin and he's the yang. Like he's the order, he's like the anchor to this world. Whereas I'm like the fucking dreamer. Like for example, you know what I'm gonna say already, right?
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
I can think of a few already, but
the main one, okay, for example, our dreams. Comparing our dreams, what are your dreams like?
Oh, like actual
when
dreams
you go to
when I
sleep, when you go to sleep and you wake up.
I literally plan the events that happen in the upcoming week. Like, you know, how I coached this morning? Yesterday night, I had a dream that I explained the exact workout today. But it was fucked up. I pooped my pants. What the fuck?
Just chuck the stalagmite on the floor.
In my dream, I shit myself while explaining the routine to the class. But the routine that I explained was literally today's routine. But somehow, like, random shit got mixed up with the dream. And I literally shat myself. And I was like, oh, Lisa, I shit myself while coaching the class. And I remember in the dream, I ran to the toilet and pulled my pants down and dumped the shit into the toilet.
Was that what kind of shit was it? Was it one of those ones that come out all in one go?
It covered my whole underwear. And I literally,
so it was wet.
Like, this is the underwear. I just went, and I dump trucked it into the toilet. But moving back to the point, my dreams are always realistic. Like, it's like me actually doing real life stuff. It's never any nightmares, never anything surreal. I mean, shitting my pants is a bit surreal.
That's pretty realistic.
But it's always like a real life scenario.
Yeah.
Like me having a conversation with someone, or me doing this and doing something that's a part of my regular routine. Like I'll never dream outside of like anything other than real world stuff. Yeah.
Well, the main thing that comes to my mind is like literally he tells me dreams about him going to get a haircut. Like that's the most normal, mundane thing. Oh, it's not mundane, it's fun and everything. But like it's so in this world, like in the box, you know? Whereas my dreams is like me floating off into space and becoming a pink elephant and then flying with my Dumbo ears and like becoming like a fucking cube of my pet dog or some shit. Like that's the kind of dreams I have. So you can tell like our psyches and just the way we see things are so different. And that's one thing that I do appreciate about Michael is like he really anchors me into this physical world and he gives like steps on like how we can achieve our goals, whereas I'm just like goal, like I think of the dream but I can't I can imagine but like how we get there, but I focus too much on the dream and it's so out of this world that it's like seems
he overlooks the process sometimes.
Yeah.
So
whereas he is like every single day. This is the most consistent guy I know in my entire life. Like literally, like for example, I love to do everything, and I always do everything. But I go on a whim. Like I will learn a backflip one day, and I'll go hard learning that backflip, and then I'll go hard learning how to rap. But then it only lasts like 2-3 months, but I go hard, like I spend all day doing that. Whereas Michael's like, he's been doing a bit of everything for ages and he's been doing the steps to get there. And so that's why I want to say that, bro, you literally, I would say out of all my close friends are like the one that I definitely respect the most because you're just fucking consistent, bro. Like it's so hard to find someone that is consistent and continues to do the things that he's been like loving to do. Like this guy fucking plays guitar, piano, he plays the drums. He's such a great drawer. He's a freaking artiste, man. Don't even get me started about his cooking, man. Like he's just a renaissance man. Like you're literally a renaissance man. And so, you know, they say, jack of all trades, master of none. That this guy is living proof that that's bullshit. So,
I wouldn't say master of none, but develop sufficient enough skill in the things that I like doing.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. You're proving that saying to be wrong, because that is usually other people, jack of all trades, master of none. But you have mastered. I would definitely say you've mastered cooking. You've definitely mastered, like, I would say productivity, and like gym. Like he's a beast in the gym too, bro. I want to go back to actually your first dunk, bro. How was that, man?
Oh fucking hell! I was at a gym and there's this guy who plays basketball. He's pretty tall.
Yep.
He just started dunking, and I'm a naturally very competitive person. Like, I'm someone who will go into the gym, I'll have my headphones on, and I'll just say in my head that the person next to me is battling me. And I just want to battle. Like, I don't know why. Like, I'll have in my head, I'm like, no, I'm going to outlift this person. And I do that all the time, everything. Even when I'm training at massive and I know that I'm fitter than most of the people in the class, I'm still in my head like, I need to obliterate them. Like, however many sets and reps, or however much weight they lift, or however many rounds they get in a circuit, I'm gonna like destroy them so hard that it'll be like, what the fuck, like, how's this guy doing it? So anyways, this guy's just throwing dunks, like making it look easy, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta give it a go. Like, and mind you, I'm probably this close to dunking. I keep missing it. I'm not understanding the process of running up to it, and then you have to take your penultimate step, and then you have to drive up as hard as you can. But when you're driving up as hard as you can, you have to be a specific distance away from the ring in order to make the dunk happen. And I don't know, like, I just did it, and fuck, I did it, and I was like, turned around, I was like, holy fuck, I finally fucking dunked. Like, but it wasn't the feeling that I was expecting. I thought I was gonna like fucking streak. I'm like, oh my god, I've been trying this for so long, but I just did it, and I was like, oh fuck, I can actually do it. So yeah, and I feel like that's the same with most of the things that I've achieved so far. I don't feel like it's been like crazy celebration. Like, I don't know if that's just my nature. I'm not quick to celebrate these victories. Like, it felt nice, but it's like yeah, what's next, sort of thing. Like, yeah, I did this. So what? What's next? Like,
so you definitely did get that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, fuck yeah, I'm a fucking kid. It was just like, oh, hectic.
Yeah.
It was just,
and what's next? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try a reverse slam now, and I went straight for that after. Like,
did you get it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I feel like that's the way I think. Like, I value ongoing learning, so maybe that's just put me in a position where I'm like not easily excitable. I don't know if that's even a good thing or a bad thing. Like, you should be technically happy about that. Let's say you nail a PB inside the gym. I'll just be like, yeah, like, I got it. But what am I gonna do next? I don't know.
Well, I think that's most of the mindset of most high achievers, that when they get to a goal, it's like they celebrate it for like 2 seconds, and then they're looking for the next one already, because they're always wanting to improve, take it to the next level. And obviously you're a high achiever. That's why you have that mindset. Like, you always want to reach the higher heights and get to the higher peaks and get to the summit, and you want to see better views all the time, which is it's a great mindset to have.
But you could argue against it as well. Like, are you like recognizing those wins and how much effort you've put leading up to that moment, sort of thing? Like, I don't know.
Like, are you truly happy if you're just always trying to claw at the next thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So,
well, I guess the thing for you then is more so like, I feel like you gotta take a step back more so, and just like immerse yourself in that moment, really breathe in that moment.
yeah.
Because I know for you, you're always like progressing every single day, and it's always like 1% better, if not 2%. So you're always trying to look for the next level. Whereas I think that's where we differ a bit, because I can get a bit complacent because when I get to a level, I'm like, oh, fuck, this is so good. And then that's how I start to lose steam.
Yeah.
But whereas you're like gradually like a turtle. That's literally, you're like a turtle and you're making progressions like that, step by step. Whereas I'm like a hare, I sprint and then I have a nap and then that's where I lose my momentum.
I'm glad you use that reference because like turtle is literally what progress looks like. Everyone thinks progress happens so quickly. Like you saying that I've been the most consistent person, like you don't really recognize that till you look back in hindsight. Like remember how I told you like while we were eating dinner, I don't even remember studying at TAFE to become a coach. And that was already 4 years ago. I don't remember it, but that's how slow the steps were. Like I've been coaching for that long now. And it's not until now that I find that I'm in a position where I'm comfortable with my level of coaching. Do you get what I mean? Like you don't recognize the daily efforts or like the daily experience that you get from doing what you're doing. Like you can't ever recognize that. You can't quantify that. Well, there are things that you can quantify, but fuck, it's so slow. Like you don't realize how long progress takes. And what Brendan was saying by he never fully envelops himself into something, but he goes fully hard, but he doesn't keep it for a long time. I think a lot of people fall into that way of thinking where they want it to happen straight away. Like things take forever. But I think that's what's so appealing to me, and that's why maybe I'm stuck in that mindset of what next? Like I don't think the end can ever be reached.
No.
Yeah.
No, and that's the mindset of a champion. There is no end because there's always going to be a better level. There's always going to be someone else to chase, or yourself, your best self is infinite, right? There's infinite possibilities. So as soon as you feel like you've hit the level, then that means there's no more growth. And if there's no more growth, then that's the end of the line. And so that's when you die. I feel like the only level where it's the end is like when you die. So even people like Winston Churchill, they were found, I think it was Winston Churchill or Roosevelt.
My history is really bad.
One of the presidents, like they found, when he died on his deathbed, they found like a book under his pillow. So he was learning every single day till the day he died. Shit. So that's the mindset that we need as a champion, and to be the best versions of ourselves. Like you're never satisfied. You're never satiated. You're always hungry for more. You're always seeking to be better and looking what's around the corner for the next opportunity or the next goal. And should we check real quick to see if it's recording? Still recording.
Nah, we'll assume that it is now.
Just in case. We've been through this so many times. That's a lesson that I have learned, is that
no, it's all good.
Hectic.
It's all good. I feel like one of these cameras is going to turn off at 30 minutes. So.
Oh no,
but
don't.
Doubt it.
We'll
find out.
Cool. I want to go back to what you said about Malian. Why do you reckon it took so long to heal from that?
I was full immature. Like I always felt like I was in the right. Like for me back then, I don't think I had the ability to understand more perspectives than my own. Like I was so consumed by my own thinking. Like I don't know if you remember, but I was like, why is she doing this? Like it's not even right. Like I remember like saying those words. I'm like, what she's doing isn't right. Like, and I was so stuck in that mentality that I didn't even take into consideration hers or like anybody else's, and like how it might be potentially for them being on that side of the fence. Like my own feelings are subjective and biased. Like, of course I think I'm right. Like that's ego, right? I was so immature. Like I couldn't ever look outside of myself and understand others. And I feel like that's why when you said you still feel like you're 21, but you're 29, like I can't say that because that was literally when I was 21. Like I look back at my 21-year-old self, and at that time I thought I was like, yeah, I was mature. I've experienced like a lot of things already. Like literally hindsight is 2020. Like at that stage of my life, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm mature. That was when I graduated. That's when I started my job in engineering. I'm like, yeah, things are coming together for me. But now I look back at myself at 21 and I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy lacked so much consideration for others, extremely selfish, so egotistical. Like, although it wasn't as big as other people, or everyone's got ego. I don't know, I just felt so self-consumed and like clearly for me to act that way means there was deep underlying issues from within, like a pain somewhere like deep inside that caused me to behave like this. Like at the root of everyone's character is pain in some sort of way, in some sort of extent. And until you understand that pain or what it is, you'll never truly know yourself. You know what I mean? And I feel like, I don't know, I can't even think of a time where like I turned the page. But yeah, I was just so consumed by myself.
So you pretty much, you couldn't empathize with other people.
Like in my head, I would think I would be empathizing. Like I'm doing the right thing. Like, how could you do this? Like, I get why you're like this way to me. Like that's what the way I would think it. Like I thought I understood, but clearly I didn't.
Like in your mind, you're more like, they should be appreciative of me doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, almost like. Yeah.
So, so you weren't able to heal for such a long time because you couldn't step outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And see through someone else's eyes.
And I reckon so.
I feel, would you also attribute that to you just kept spending time with their family?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the fact that in my head, like I was like, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. Like the family has accepted me, yada yada. Like I feel like that was just, I kept feeding that. I kept feeding it. That's why I kept prolonging, because every interaction that I had like would just add more fuel to the fire, and it never let me have the time to properly heal and think about things.
Yep. So the more that she pulled away, the more you're like, no, I need to cling on even harder because she's so wrong. She's just not seeing it right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, like, literally, like she just doesn't understand the bigger picture.
Yep.
But it was me who didn't understand the bigger picture.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
The irony.
Yeah. Wow. And how long ago was that?
2015, 7 years ago.
Dang, that was 7 years ago.
Yeah, 21. I'm only 28 right now.
Damn. Cool, man. Anyways, going back to 7 years ago, like, actually, I remember you were the first one that got me into, like, self-help books. So...
Yeah.
Do you remember the first book that you loaned to me?
Was it the one that you said had mold because it fell behind your bed? It was Charles Duhigg, what is it, Something Habits?
Power of Habit.
The Power of Habit, sorry.
And
Power of Habit.
What I just found out the other day was that Lisa was the one that got you into that book. Is that true?
I think so.
That's what she said. Literally, that's what she said. Like,
I think it might have been, yeah. I like faintly remember a conversation. It might have been on like Facebook or something where we spoke about this. But yes, that sounds familiar. It was either she recommended it to me or like we were both reading it at the same time. Oh. And we were like, whoa, like this book is good.
So was that your first
self-help book? I think so. I don't even know how I found it. I wouldn't even call it a self-help book. That's literally just understanding the process of building a habit and how like you can change your behaviors.
Like neuropsychology.
Based on understanding like what the cues are, what the routine is, and what reward is.
Right.
Like that's called the habit loop. You have your cue, you have your routine, and then you have your reward. I wouldn't even call that self-help. It's just basically like understanding like behavioral psychology.
So for the listeners that don't understand that cycle, can you run us through like how that works? So every habit has this.
Yeah, at the root of all habits, it follows the habit loop, which is a cue, something that triggers you to do whatever it is you're doing, the routine, which is what you do in order to get the reward. So let's say every day at 3 p.m. I check my watch and I'm like, oh, I suddenly feel like having an afternoon coffee. And then the reward is the feeling of caffeine hit. Or even the feeling of tasting something delicious. Like it might not even be a coffee, it might even be like a afternoon snack where you eat like a dessert or something. Like, and until you understand what the cue and the routine is, you'll never be able to like fix the habit loop to tailor it towards something more productive. Like let's say, for example, you know that because every day you're having this 3 p.m. snack, it's obviously affecting your health or whatever. Like how can you change that? So let's say instead of every day at 3 p.m. you go and get a coffee, you then change it to you going to talk to a workmate for 10 minutes to satisfy that desire to have some sort of stimulation. So that's basically understanding behavioral psychology.
So in that case, the cue would be 3 p.m. And the routine would be drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And then the
or
reward,
whatever it is to get the dopamine hit, or
and
the
reward
stimulation.
would be that caffeine hit for that particular thing. So was it true that the only way to change the habit is to change the routine? Because
it's
because
about
you're always going to
identifying
seek
it.
that reward.
Exactly. So it's about identifying what the routine and the cue is, and then making a plan or a productive plan to go and then like change it so that you don't go the same route as you do to get the reward.
Yep. So correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding is you cannot change the cue. You can only change that routine. So you can't actually delete a whole habit. It has to change.
Yeah.
You have to evolve it. You have to transmute
So I think ideally the reward would stay the same, but then you've changed the routine into a more productive routine.
Exactly. Actually, another big takeaway I got from that book, the biggest takeaway I got from that book was the idea of Keystone Habits. And so
I still don't remember it.
So the book Charles talks
I remember
about
Keystone Habits, but
so he talks about the idea of Keystone Habits, which is a habit that is pretty much like a domino effect for all the other habits. So for example, a Keystone Habit for help to get your whole habit, the Keystone Habit changes all the other habits in your life pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. And so for example, a Keystone Habit would be working out. So if you implement the habit of working out, you eventually will change a habit of your diet and you'll start eating healthier. You'll end up starting waking up earlier, and then it just domino effects into your entire life. So start working out, guys. If you're not working out now, it should be an everyday thing. And I feel like for me and Michael, it's just so, like, I feel like, I don't know about how you feel, but for me, I forget that a lot of people don't work out.
Yeah, I always say that to my team. Like they're so quick to judge themselves, especially when they don't get a positive result or they're not getting the result they want. I'll always be quick to like reframe their thinking and say, you know what, like you guys are doing more than 90% of people. Like the fact that you guys can show up every single day says more about you than anything. I'm like, don't stress over the things because you guys aren't like everybody else, which is why I treat you differently. And it isn't until I reframe it that we're like, oh, that's true.
Yeah, like literally showing up is the hardest work, 90% of the work. And most people don't do that. And so if you're watching this and you do work out every day, like you're ahead of the curve. I'm not saying that you should make yourself feel better than, like as if you're better than everyone, but like don't be so hard on yourself when you miss one workout or you miss like a cheat meal or something. Like you are actually showing up and you've been doing it for such a long time. So don't feel bad about that. Anyways, I want to move on to funny thing. Lisa's in the background. Shout out to Lisa.
Flex.
I wanted to mention the whole idea of like how recently we just got way closer than like me and Michael have been close since we first met like 11, 12 years ago. But it's kind of been like not a roller coaster, but like
it's those friendships where if you don't talk for ages and then you talk again, it's like all sweet. Like
yes, and those are the best relationships. When
maintenance.
Yes, when you meet up again and it's like nothing's changed. You pick up exactly where you left off. But the past few months, I would like to say, has been so. I feel like I've had such a wholesome last few months because
Basically adopted this guy. We
That's-
call him our son now.
I was getting to that. So because Lisa's at the back right now. Lisa is Michael's girlfriend, and we kind of play this role playing game. We don't even think of it that way, but I just pretend to be their son. So I call Mike.
We're literally in our house right now.
So yeah, so I literally call him dad. I literally call Lisa like mom or like madre or papa, and like it's funny because it's I feel like I've grown so much through this. Like it's pretty much a hierarchy. Like if you really think about it, like the father is always at the head of the house, and then there's the mom, and then there's the son. Like even when I would like be like I would swear at one point. I swore once while I was speaking to Lisa, and she's like, "Don't swear at your mom." I'm like, "No, fuck you."
I was at the dinner table. I don't remember that.
I was just having fun, but I feel like it's helped me to grow as a person as well, because remember how we were talking about how like I was like the hare, I'll be sprint and then sleep, but it's only when I started hanging out with Michael and Lisa, like I pretty much see them at least once a week now, and I've been so consistent with my gains, with everything since my surgery. I spoke about that last episode, my surgery of these balls, this ball. And so, like, I'll have Michael and Lisa to thank for that, because like my progress has been inching up every single day.
Minus the one time he came over and we were supposed to train, and this guy just starts fucking dancing. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting a better workout dancing." And me when I train, like, it's like, don't fuck with my training mood. Like, I'm fully zoned in. I got like the music pumping. This guy's just fucking dancing in the front of our house. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Come fucking do your set. I swear I was gonna punch this guy in the face. I'm full trying to have a serious workout, and when he gets carried away, Lisa gets carried away, and it's like two fucking idiots inside the gym when I'm full trying to focus, mucking around, and I'm trying to get my shit done. Like, oh my god, this guy. Like, that is the one time that
I had no idea that he was pissed off.
but he's making progress. But that was the one fucking session. I swear I was gonna strangle him.
But you know what's funny? My legs were demolished the
He
next
kept
day.
saying that. I'm like, you've done fucking nothing.
I fucking don't, bro. First of all, let me tell you guys right now, for all the YouTube, like for all the people on Spotify listening right now, I'm gonna show all the YouTube people. This is how he says it was just dancing. Yeah, I was just like fucking doing this. I wasn't doing this. I was dancing like this. You know how hard this shit is, man? Like, I was doing this, I was like doing this. That shit is not easy, yo. So that's why my legs, especially my quads, were demolished. So the next day, my legs were so sore. Okay, so let me just give a disclaimer. I was stoned as fuck that day. So I was just like in the zone. I was like going wherever my like mind was taking me. Like as soon as a thought came into my mind, I would like...
Was that the day where you kept running in and out of the gym and writing shit down? Fuck me.
So I had so many ideas in my mind, and as soon as an idea in my mind came to my head, I would excite it and I'll continue thinking about the idea, I'll write it all down, and then I'll go back to dancing, and then I'll feel the song, praise the Lord, and break the law, and then I was just like, I was just doing those freaking Russian things all day. So it's funny because he was so pissed off at me, but I was pushing myself to the limit, yo.
Chaos, order.
Literally. But that's plyometrics, yo. Guys, if you all know plyometrics, man, that was fucking hard. But I wish I recorded that, because I think I want to get more into that, because I feel like I become so free when I'm just dancing while working out and just letting the music take me on a journey. But it's so funny. I didn't even know you were pissed off.
Imagine this guy coming to your house to train with you, asking you to train with him, and he goes and fucking dances and keeps walking inside the house to write stuff down and then back out to dance again. and then back in the house. Oh my god, this guy.
It was a good. That was one of the best workout sessions in my entire life. Just straight up. Okay, so I want to go back to. So another thing that Michael does in my life that I really appreciate is that motherfucker keeps me accountable, man. Like he would, for example, I remember this so clearly, and I just remember this thought today when I was thinking of ideas to talk about. And I remember we just worked out at Wetherill Park, I think, and we're at nutrition station at Wetherill Park, Anytime Fitness.
Yeah.
And we were eating something, and no, I don't think we even worked out, but I rocked up and you rocked up, and we're eating something. I think I bought a shake, and you had a book with you, and I bought a coffee. And I was gonna take a story on my Instagram, and then
fucking poser.
And then I took his book and I put it in the frame of my story, and I put my coffee there, and I took a picture. No, I tried to take a picture, and just as I was about to take it, he fucking took the book away. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" I'm like, "I'm just trying to take a picture." You're like, "That's not your book." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck, man."
Trying to impress the girls on Insta, like the beta he is.
The beta I was. He kept fucking taking it away, and then eventually, like, obviously he hid behind his back, so I couldn't take the picture anymore. But I remember that so clearly. I was like, "Motherfucker!" Like I was so pissed, but at the same time, I was like, "Yeah, motherfucker's right, bro. I shouldn't be doing this." Such a fucking lie. Like I wasn't saying that I was reading it, but by putting the picture in the frame, that's implying that I was the one reading the book, and he knew that he saw through me. He knew exactly what I was trying to do, and that's just one way of how he keeps me accountable. But another thing that I want to mention, a bit more intense, is in how he keeps me accountable is that I don't know when it was, but I think it was probably 7 years ago or 6 years ago, but I was going through a really, like, I wouldn't say dark time, but I was just really confused.
I would say he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I just lacked imagination. I couldn't.
Was that like when you were like you dropped out of uni, and then that was that time, wasn't it?
I think it was. I think I had just dropped out of uni for the second time.
Oh, thought it was the first.
It could be. I don't remember exactly, but it's definitely...
Was UTS the first time or the second time?
No, so I went to USID for 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's right, you went to USID.
Yeah.
And then you went to UTS after that.
Yeah. So I went to USID.
So the second time.
So yeah, I went to USID for health science for like 6 months, dropped out for like 6 months, and then went back to uni for UTS. And I went there for 2 years, and I had 1 year to go before I finished. But I knew in my heart that I wasn't going to use my degree, so I just dropped out again. And it wasn't until... Hey, buddy. It wasn't until... That was when I was just like lacking imagination. I didn't have a sense of direction. I had no purpose. I had no why. And I guess I was surrounded by a certain type of person. And so I was looking around at everyone else and what they were doing, and the people who were successful in that circle. And I was just like, maybe I should do that as well. And so... what I'm trying to get to is that I pretty much was aspiring to be a drug dealer. I was like...
I was wondering if you're going to tell this story.
Yeah. So I didn't know how it came to my mind and how I was going to like achieve it. But for some reason, the thought just came into my mind, and it was like, fuck it, let's be a drug dealer. Let's sell some fucking coke and let's sell some weed and shit. Like, it's gonna be good. I'll get some of the goods as well. I can get high off my own supply. I think that was what was going through my mind. And there was so many people around me that were like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'll help you. I'll put you on. You can go under me, and I'll help you with the connections and everything. I'll bring you the goods. You just have to give me a little bit. Like, you don't even need to put any money up front. I'll give you the stuff first, and then once you sell it all, you can pay me back. And so many people were like, yeah, I'll help you, bro. But there was only 2 people in my life that were like, Brendan, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
I told this guy off so hard. I remember he was like full trying to justify. He's like, yeah, there's an exit plan if I ever want to get out of it. Like, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy thinking? I'm like, this guy's just oh, like same feeling. Just wanted to punch his head in. But fuck me, like I remember that. Like I told you off hard. I was like, get your fucking shit together.
Like, I remember because it was Florence as well. She told me like, what are you thinking? Like, and me, Florence, and Michael, one of my friends that's in Canada right now, we have a really tight friendship. We've been like friends for like since I met Michael as well. And yeah, you both. I don't know. Do you guys like converse? You never.
I wasn't close with Florence back then.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's crazy. Because like, I guess we're all on the same vibration. They both thought the exact same thing without even consulting with each other. And Florence sent me a huge ass text and everything, and Michael sent me a huge ass intelligent, like all these words. This guy he doesn't do it anymore, but back in the days, like he would try to like assert his intelligence on you by using words that like make you feel stupid.
Yeah, you know what? Like going back to the topic of Marley-Ann, like I used to talk to her like that. That's what I mean. Like the 21-year-old me is just like, I'm right. Like I didn't care. Like even if we look at or the situation you're talking about, obviously you're in the wrong, but still like I wanted the righteousness. Like I don't know. Like that's ego for sure. Like for sure that's the ego wanting to prove self-worth and like being above someone else and feeling superior. That's all ego. But that's literally how I spoke to Marley-Ann. Like it's funny that you say that. Like, but yes, I used all these smart words back then. I know, like what a dickhead. Like, I'm thinking about it now, and it's like cringe. Like so cringe. I don't even talk like that anymore. Like I don't like type like that anymore. I don't try to project myself to be smart or anything. Like just talk normally.
Yeah. Now it's like you're trying to get your point across, whereas before you're trying to look down on people.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say that?
Literally the Principal Skinner.
Pathetic. Wow, so that was around the same time-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Well, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, so nobody else I didn't tell many people, but they were the two people that stood out to me and was like, you're better than this, man. Like, Brendan, you're better than this. And I was like, fuck, I am. Like, what the fuck was going through my mind? How could I even think like that? And that goes to prove that you are a product of your environment, because no matter how hard you try, and say you're trying to break, for example, you're trying to break a habit, you're trying to stop eating junk food, if you're fucking surrounded by Kettle's chips and like snack packs and like freaking burgers, or like it's all the way, it's in your house all the time.
As if we didn't eat Kettle chips in the car and burgers for dinner.
I'm just using that as an example, guys. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that if the temptation is there for you to see and smell and hear and taste, then there's a very high likely chance that you're gonna succumb to that pressure.
Temptation.
For the Spotify, succumbing. For the listeners right now, he is just eating some junk food right now.
Cue routine.
Some Sour Patch lollies, guys. Yeah, so if the thing is there, there's most likely chance you're gonna take that bait. And so something I learned as well is that the most disciplined, quote, disciplined people in the world aren't the ones with the strongest willpower. They are just the ones that optimize their environment so that they have the best outcomes. They are the ones that don't put the temptations in front of them. They're the ones that, if they want to be healthy, they won't have junk food in their house, or it'll be somewhere in the garage where they have to force themselves to get out of bed, walk down the stairs, go down into the basement, go to the top of the fridge and all the way at the back of the freezer, then they can get it. Or like if they really want to work out, they're the ones that have their joggers like right outside their door, like, or like, I don't know, they have their clothes, their gym clothes ready for them to put on as soon as they get out of bed.
I would say it's just got to do with how prepared they are, like having a plan, being prepared.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I would tie it into.
So having a plan and getting your environment to fit that plan, I guess. Because if you don't have a plan, then
which is preparedness.
Yes. And what's that thing? Proper preparation. Proper.
Are you gonna say a quote?
Yeah, it's like an acronym or some shit. Abbreviation. No. Proper preparation prevents poor practice. Some shit like that. You know what I mean? Poor performance. Something like that.
Never heard that.
Or not failing to prepare.
Failing to plan is planning to fail.
You heard?
He's really good at butchering quotes. He's better now. There was a period of time where this guy would like try to quote everything that he's read, and he would fuck up the quote so bad that it's not even like fun to digest anymore. He just butchered it up. But he's good now. He's good now.
You know why I'm good now is because when I think of the quote, I just Google it first, and then I'll read it. I wouldn't try to say it. I literally say I'm not gonna butcher it. Google, and then I say I read it out.
He's come far.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I was talking about. What was we talking about now?
We're talking about how you wanted to become a drug dealer.
Oh yeah.
We told you off so hard.
Yeah, and man, we've come a really long way from here. But let's talk more about the future, man. Like where are we planning to go in a few months?
We're going to the US and Canada. We're going to see LeBron James.
LeBron James.
We got tickets to LA Lakers versus the Miami Heat on the 4th of January. It's going to be so good. This guy's going to retire in about 3 years, and it's going to be a sad day.
Man, that's one thing that we both appreciate. We both love basketball. And so being able to see LeBron James in the flesh is going to be like legendary. Because you've never been to America, hey? Oof. So we're pretty much doing this whole thing. We're going to do a little trip. I think we're planning to do New Year's Eve in New York. And then the 4th of January, we're going to be watching LeBron James. And Miami Heat, yeah?
Yep.
If only Dwayne Wade was still playing. But
you'll be in the US because you are pursuing acting over there.
Yes. So I'm planning to do the whole LA acting thing. I guess you gotta try. I guess that's if you've ever read The Alchemist, those are my pyramids, and I just feel like I need to try. And like if you never try, you never know. Hey, I'd rather live a life of oh wells than what ifs. Didn't butcher that one, yo. But yeah, that's in 3 months' time. I think I'm leaving on December 7th. When you leave?
16th of December. But it's so cool to hear because like Florence is basically doing the same thing. Like it's cool because within our circle, you have Brendan and Florence literally just saying YOLO. And Florence is living over in Canada for the next 2 years now. She literally just packed up and left, quit her job. Literally camping, not even working. She's just enjoying Canada, and it's cool to see. And basically Brendan's going to do the same thing. Flex. Yeah, Brendan's going to do the exact same thing, so cool to see within our circle. And even for me, like possibilities to take my coaching, it's cool because I started a master's degree in high performance sport in June this year. And the course coordinator is the head exercise scientist for the OKC Thunder. And for me at the time, I never even crossed my mind that I could take my strength and conditioning coaching role and progress it to like the NBA. Like, didn't even occur to me until I saw his resume, and I was like, holy fuck, imagine if I coached the likes of LeBron James or Steph Curry. And then suddenly I went down this rabbit hole of like, what am I doing? Like, to think that I only know what it's like to coach the current gym I'm at is a disservice to who I truly want to be. Like, I don't know, like my brain exploded. I was like, oh fuck, like I could coach these guys. And like, imagine if I work with all these crazy athletes, get to travel the world, get to like fully immerse myself into a culture where athletic performance is all that matters. Like, fuck, it's crazy. Like, it's going to be a crazy few next years. Like, you can get glimpses of what it might look and feel like already, but you get the feeling that you're setting in path, like you're setting the right motions to get on that path, like crazy.
Like you're taking the necessary
Yeah.
steps to get to where you want to be, and you like your door, your box was opened, and then just all these possibilities just came into your life, and you're like, whoa, didn't even think that was possible. You didn't even dream it, let alone believe it was like it didn't even come into your mind. It was you were just so stuck in your way of thinking that that wasn't even a possibility.
For sure.
That's exciting. That's gonna be a huge shift. I feel like, what are you gonna focus on when you get back from that trip?
The trip. Well, ideally, I need to finish my master's degree. So once I finish my master's degree, I feel like I'll be in a better position to really know what I want out of my career. It's going to go for 2 years. So I'm studying part-time at the moment while working 2 full-time jobs. So for me, like, until I fully immerse myself into that master's degree and understand what potential opportunities are out there, like, I don't want to think too far ahead. I just want to make sure that I appreciate what I'm learning now, and then that it sets the right foundations for like what's to come. Like, I know, like, okay, this could be a potential that I could coach NBA players, but although that sounds amazing, if I'm not focused on what I'm doing now, I'm not giving myself the right strategies to reach that. Yeah. I'm not giving myself the right strategies to get there. So yeah, like I think for now, my focus is just making sure that I'm fully engrossed into my learning so that I can come out of this. I told Lisa that I want a HD average. Like, I was like, I've never wanted that ever for anything, like for anything at all. Like, even when I went through uni, like my bachelor's degree is in civil engineering. All I wanted to do was go to uni and go home. Like, I didn't care for study. Like, I just wanted a piece of paper. And a piece of paper for what? Validation. Like, so stupid. Like, if you're watching this and you think that uni and a job is going to solve all your problems, it's not. Like, happiness is going to solve all your problems. And until you identify what it is that makes you you and like makes you want to live, like, you're just wasting your precious time. Like that. Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, wasted 5 years. I'm in $45,000 in debt now from Hex on a degree that I don't really like put too much focus on. Like, yes, I'm still doing work relevant to it, but it doesn't speak to me in volumes like coaching does.
Like, you feel like it's a dead end for you. You're not planning to continue to use that for the future of your life.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also taught me a lot of valuable skills. Because now I'm doing project management. And without it, like, I don't think I'd be the coach that I am today. Like, for example, yesterday, in one of our workouts, there's a 5 a.m. class that goes to 5:45. And then we have a 5:45 a.m. class that goes to 7 a.m. And basically, at the end of the 5 a.m.'s workout, they were supposed to go for a 3K run. That was programmed into the workout of the day. And then the start of the 5:45 a.m. class, they also had to do a run, but it was for 6 minutes. So 3K should take roughly around 15 minutes. Anyways, it started pissing down rain. Now I've got 20 people from 5 a.m. class who can't finish the last 15 minutes of their workout. And then I have the start of the 5:45 class, which was another 20 to 30 people who need to start their workout, and they also can't do their run because it's pissing down rain. So I'm standing there, 40 plus people looking at me, and like, I just like get all my shit together and say, yep, you go here, you go here, you go here, like set something up right on the fly. And like, what I'm trying to get from this is like, I feel like if I didn't have those project management skills, I don't think I would have been in a position where I'd be level-headed and say, yep, this is like the problem. This is what I have in front of me. What do I need to be the outcome of this situation? What am I going to do to get there? Like, immediately, like, I set up a mini circuit and it catered to the right amount of people and it satisfied both workouts. So I did a circuit that was like basically 1 minute per station, and I set up 5 stations, meaning that if the 5 a.m. class went through it 3 times, that would be the exact duration that it would take their 3K run. And then if the 5:45 class went through it once, it would be the exact amount of time they needed to do their warm-up. Like, I don't think I could have done that if I hadn't gone through and done my degree.
So pretty much it goes to show that, like, even though we're not using that particular degree or something, like everything that we learn along the way is for a reason, and that is applicable to the life that we are living right now. Like, that reminds me of like video games, for example. Like, everyone says you don't learn shit from video games, but we all know that you learn money management skills, you learn communication skills.
Yeah, there was a study recently. I don't know if you saw the post, but research came out and said that kids who play video games are likely to be more intelligent than those who don't. Because if you buy the right games, it'll teach you like the right problem solving skills, the right analytical skills, like decision making, basically. Yes. So yeah.
Especially like multiplayer games where you got to work with other people. And you've got to
exactly.
Leadership skills and things like that. My mic just died.
Did it?
No, my laptop died. So
that's all right. One of the cameras will still pick up your audio.
Okay. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. So the fact that everything you learned is still being applicable to your life right now, and so I can say for me, like, I learned so much. We were just talking about this earlier. I learned a PT course as well. I don't know if it's PT, but Cert 3.
Cert 3, which is group fitness.
Group fitness. So I guess that helps me to build confidence. Even though I'm not a PT now, it helped me to build confidence in just bringing people together and getting them to be more confident in themselves and letting them feel like they're how do I say, just so that they don't feel like they
empowering them.
Yeah. It's like they don't, just to make them feel like they're not. I don't know what's the word's not. It's missing my mind right now. But long story short, the stuff that I did not finish the degree in, I dropped out of 3 different things. Like, 1 was in TAFE, 2 was in uni. But I'm still using those every single day. Even the things, just turning up to class, making friends with people. Like, that's a skill. I feel like that's the most important skill, social skills. Because you could be the best actor in the world, but if nobody likes you, you're not going to get any jobs. And vice versa. If you could be like an average actor, but if the whole world loves you and people want to see you succeed, you will succeed. So I feel like we should wrap this up right there. I feel like that was a nice solid hour, but
probably talk for longer.
Yeah, I reckon we did. But this is only the first episode we're gonna have together, because me and Michael, we're trying to milk as much time as we can before we leave. And so we still got a solid like 3 months. I reckon we get in at least another 2
Fuck, it feels like we haven't even like gone deep, yeah.
That's not even the surface.
Like, I remember Band of Beasts, we would always finish with like practical gems and like summarize what we spoke about.
I feel like we had quite a few practical gems. I kind of don't remember already, but like for example, like, yeah, don't feel bad or feel like you're wasting your time right now. But just keep showing up every single day. Like, just showing up. You're ahead of like 90% of the crowd, because most of the crowd don't show up. So yeah, I learned this quick tip while having a shower just then. Like, if you're gonna end an episode, just fucking cut it right there, because people, they're gonna switch off anyways. But we'll catch you guys on the next episode. I'll probably get him in again before episode 10 or some shit. But thank you if you made it this far. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure to like, subscribe, smash the like button, Kamehameha that subscribe button, and thank you for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my god, he fell asleep.
Yeah, no.